Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to KRS TV. This is your boy Kenny, and this is Empire Season 5, Episode 8, and the name of this episode is Master of What Is Mine Own. Yo, this was a damn good episode, and the way that it ended had me completely gagged. So let me get started with this because this episode was everything. In the beginning of the episode, we see that Lucius is coming into the house and he's at the sink rinsing off, and we see that he's rinsing off blood. And Cookie comes in and she's like, "Oh my God, Lucius, what did you do? What did you do?" Then it, goes, and so that's pretty much what takes place later on. But then now it goes into present moment. Cookie and Lucius are having a conversation about Candace, because Candace, what we saw from the last episode, Candace has completely cut Cookie off, and it's been about 2 weeks and she hasn't been able to reach her. So, and then they're also talking about this big showcase that they're trying to put up, and they're trying to figure out how they're going to get the money together to make this showcase a success. Then we get a scene with Jamal. Jamal is doing this performance. I think it was on Entertainment Tonight. He's doing this performance. Both Cookie and Lucius are watching it on TV, and in this performance, he's doing an interview, and he talks about how he's so passionate, how he's so happy, and he's in a good place. He's found the love of his life, and he's about to get married, and then he's pretty much and like we see that Kai is pretty much behind the scenes, but he's there, and he mentions Kai's name, and then all of a sudden the reporter knew who Kai was. He's like, "Oh yes, I've heard of you, like, won't you come over here and join us, come on." And we start seeing that Kai starts, Kai's face gets turned and everything, and I'm just looking at this shit like, bruh, what the fuck you think this was what the hell, because Kai really rubbed me the wrong way in this episode. So he gets up there, and we just see that Kai is just in his feelings. And then later on, him and Kai, get together, and Jamal is like, "Hey Kai, is everything okay?" He's like, "Oh, now you're worried about how I feel?" I'm like, "Oh, see, this is the shit that gets me about Kai. Like, first of all, bruh, you knew what the fuck you were getting into when you decided to date a pop star. So now he's complaining that I don't want to be viewed, I don't want to be viewed as, as pop star trash and all of this. And, I want to be a serious journalist, and I want to be respected, and I want to be seen as that. I don't want to be seen, as like being attached to some pop star and all of that shit." And Jamal was like, "Man, you act like being a pop star is like a plague or a curse or something. Like, what's the deal?" And he was saying that, "I love you, but I don't, but now it's different being behind the camera versus now being in front of the camera. Now people know who I am." And he was talking about how he lost some jobs, opportunities. They didn't want him now because now he's out there and out there in the press. But I'm sitting here like, Kai, you knew what the fuck you was getting into, bruh. Because I remember they had this conversation when they first met in London, and Kai was saying the same shit then. "Oh, well, I don't want to, why would I want to be attached to pop star trash? I did everything in my career to not be a part of that." Yeah, but you fell in love with Jamal, and Jamal is a pop star, so you got to take what comes with it. Get out your fucking feelings and stop, and quit all this, because when that whole thing went down, I kind of had like a moment for Menace to Society. If y'all haven't seen that movie, check that out. It's a classic. But all of a sudden, I'm like, man, Kai, you acting like a little bitch right now. Sit your ass down. Like, don't nobody got time for that shit. Because I'm saying, if you had an issue with it, then, and then on top of it, y'all proposed and all that shit, you knew that you were eventually going to have to be in front of the camera because Jamal is a pop star. He's known all over the world. What makes you think you were going to be secret with that? And then later on, we get this flashback, because Cookie and Lucius was watching Jamal on television. Then we get a flashback of 2 years earlier when he actually gave her the painting for, it was a Derek Adams, that the infamous painting that now Damian Cross has. We actually see 2 years earlier when he actually gave her that painting, during Christmas time, and they just recently got remarried. So that was pretty cool. Now I'm gonna talk about that motherfucker Kingsley. Kingsley is still on some bullshit. Kingsley calls a company meeting and decides that he's gonna rip Lucius off of streaming, and he's going to put everything involving Lucius Lyons in the vault. So that means the royalties that they've been getting will stop, and anybody that's attached to it will no longer get any money. So he's trying to eradicate Lucius completely from the company, completely from all streaming, completely from every vehicle that has Lucius Lyon. And we see in the meeting, we see Giselle and Becky faces are turned like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, why would you do that? I mean, Lucius has one of the most lucrative catalogs ever. I mean, Lucius' catalog is like in the billions, and you're gonna put that in the vault where no one can make no more money off of the Lucius Lyon brand? And we had this employee, because like what he did. So Luke Kingsley talks about Disney and how Disney did this and how it worked out for them and it can work here. But then an employee pretty much said, but that don't make no sense though. I mean, Lucius' catalog, it's going to affect a lot of people. And besides, Lucius was about the people and was about the music. And he pretty much put the music, the business, and the people together. And this is how he built what he has. So we see that this employee pretty much, stood up against Kingsley, and he asked him, have you ever been to Disney World? And he was like, well, yeah, I'm actually about to take my kids there for a vacation. And he was like, kind of lucrative, isn't it? Well, how you going to do that when you in the unemployment line? You fired. And I'm looking at this fool, I'm like, Kingsley, somebody needs to beat the living shit out of you, because you are literally doing dumb shit, and you're doing this because of your ego and your own desire for revenge. And it's insane. So then after that, we get a scene where Cookie and Lucius are in a session with Hakeem, Devon, and this new guy, Carlito, the guy they won at the poker game. They are pretty much doing this song, and the song is sounding good and everything, and then all of a sudden, Carlito starts flipping out and tripping, talking about something. Man, why I gotta fucking sing with these clowns, man? I'm hot on SoundCloud, man. I'm known. I don't need to be doing this shit, And besides, why the hell? And then he starts saying that, man. And it's all messed up because, at the end of the day, we paying for all this shit. So like, I'm about to roll up out of here because I ain't got time for this shit. And then Devon was like, what you mean we paying for this? And he was like, bruh, did you read your contract? The money you got was in advance, bruh. They gonna get their money back before we see anything. And I ain't for this shit. Oh, Cookie got the fuck up and she set the record straight. She was like, first of all, ain't nobody going no motherfucking way. But you, Carlito, we won your ass in a poker game. And you, Sanford and Son, talking about Devon, we found you right in the middle of the junkyard. So everybody, so far as I'm concerned, we paid money for y'all to be here. We made the sacrifices for y'all to be here, and y'all gonna deliver, and I don't want to hear no more bullshit. Y'all gonna get the fucking work, and that's gonna be the end of it. I was like, Cookie, you better handle that shit, boss lady. Tell these fools what the fuck the deal is. Because, at the end of the day, yeah, it's an advance, but then again, it's an advance because they're investing in you, and you have to show improve, and then when they make their money back, you make yours. You know, at the end of the day, they give you that so you can be cushioned and comfortable, so you can work on your talent and work on your musicality full time. So I just thought that was cool. So we see that Becky takes a drop, after that whole meeting with Kingsley. Becky goes to Lucius and lets him know that he's trying that Kingsley trying to shut you down. He's trying to everything involving you, he's trying to put in the vault, and that will be the end of everything. And Lucius is like, that don't make no damn sense though. That's not even smart business wise. Why would he do that? But then again, also, if he does that, that means me and my family will no longer earn residuals for the work that we've done. Then we get this whole situation, and I think I'm gonna tie this whole situation together between Hakeem and Tiana. Pretty much, Tiana comes to pick up the kids, and she mentions the fact that I thought I told you to end this beef with Blake. And he was like, man, I did. And she was like, well, I'm now receiving, his fans and stuff are starting to, I'm starting to receive death threats. But then I'm also receiving threats towards the kids. Now, I don't play when it comes to them kids. So you need to go to Blake and you need to squash this shit. And you need to, you need to leave this, you need to kind of like put this shit in the ground. And then like that motherfucking Hakeem is nasty. This fool he got like little Fruit Loops on the floor and everything. I'm like, Hakeem is so damn spoiled, it's ridiculous. So then we get a scene where Maya decides to come back. She drops off at Lucius at the house or whatever. Her and Cookie have a conversation. And Maya tells her that she left her boyfriend and that she wants to stay there with Cookie. Cookie's like, why don't you go back home to your parents? And she was like, me and my parents aren't getting along right now. And she's like, well, maybe it's because you got a nasty ass attitude. He's like, but I really want to try to make things right, and I'm grateful that you were there for me, and I'm sorry how I reacted to you, but I need a place to stay. I want to get myself together. She was like, okay, fine. But you can just kind of look at the situation and know that Maya's up to something. I don't trust this bitch as far as I can throw her. But Cookie was not letting up on her ass. Like, she tried to get some of, because Cookie was eating like some cheese and crackers and some grapes. And she called herself just helping herself. Cookie was like, bitch. First of all, you can stay here, but your ass gonna work, cause I ain't fucking just letting you gonna be up in here laying up doing nothing. You gonna have to work, and you gonna have to get yourself together, and you gonna have to pull your own weight, cause I ain't about, motherfuckers just laying up in my house not doing nothing. Respectfully so. And then she's like, so you hungry, huh? Say, won't you eat this shit with your hungry ass? I was like, Cookie is off the hook. Cookie is not playing with this damn girl, and I don't blame her, because after she bailed your ass out of jail, and then you got a nerve to fucking cuss her out after all she's done for you. And I know Maya is still feeling some ways because her life has been turned upside down, and she's blaming Cookie for this. But at the end of the day, yeah, Cookie let you know about this, but she said it was up to you. You chose to go there and see your mother on her deathbed, and I know that had to be life altering, but at the end of the day, it was your decision. And I'm just getting sick of motherfuckers blaming Cookie for shit, and I'm gonna get to the situation, because this thing also takes shape with her sister, and I'm so gonna let Candace have it in this video. So let's keep it moving. So finally, when Becky told Lucius this information, Cookie was right there, and Cookie said that, look, do not go and talk to Kingsley. I don't want you getting, further involved in this, and he does even more shit. Let's sit back and strategize, but do not go meet up with Kingsley. Lucius went up and met with Kingsley, which I can understand why he would. Like, bruh, like, cause Lucius is like, man, this is like, and he's trying to say it's just business, but he's like, cause like Kingsley's saying that it's nothing personal, it's just business. And Lucius is like, man, what the fuck you mean this is business? Like, this does not make any sense. You know, like, doing something like this will be bad for business, but yet, why would you do it? And as a matter of fact, like, what the hell is going on? And then Kingsley's like, well, the thing is, I'm actually developing a management company like Lyons Family Management right here in Empire. So at the end of the day, we don't even really need your company, because my company, because now Empire is going to provide the same service that you guys are providing, so there will be no need for you guys. And pretty much he's just asking, like, so then, like, Lucius kind of said, like, so dude, you really asking to be put in the ground, huh? And he's like, oh, is that a threat? He was like, look, bruh, I don't know what's going on with you, but you making a lot of bitch ass moves, and it's not making any sense. You know, it's, why would you want to shelf everything that I've worked on and everything that I've built? What's your aim at doing that? You know, what do you gain the profit by doing something like this? And he was saying that I want to erase you from a whole I want to erase you from the next generation. I want to make you extinct. And Lucius picked it up and was like, sounds more personal than business to me. And I'm like, and it is. It's on some personal shit. So now we see that Lucius gets together with Andre and Thirsty, and Thirsty would had me rolling because Andre was on the phone with Terry, Quincy's mom, about Quincy's situation, and he got off the phone, and then like Thirsty was like, oh, so now we erupt in business meetings to talk to our girls, and is this one real? I was like, yeah. And then he went on Andre's clothes. It was like, so what is this? This is Casual Friday or some shit? Thurston had me rolling. I'm like, yeah, I miss Thurston. Thurston definitely is definitely a character. So pretty much they get together and they said that, look, pretty much my catalog is the one that's making the most money. I mean, because I said it's in the billions. So he's saying if he's going to shelf everything I'm doing, then obviously he's going to replace it with some supplemental income, because there's got to be money to keep this company running. So what is he going to be using instead of our catalog? And we need to get to the bottom of this, and we got to keep quiet as to how we're going to figure this out. So then we actually see that Cookie finds out that Lucius went to go see Kingsley, but Lucius tells her that, look, I had to do it because, first of all, this is our legacy as well as our future. And then it goes 16 months earlier when they actually, which is why Lucius is fighting so hard, because he's also going back to when, Eddie had took Empire from under them, and pretty much him and Cookie kind of get into this spat, and like, he's kind of like directing this anger towards her, and she's like, oh, so this is it? You trying to blame me for losing Empire? Is that what it is? So she gets so mad that she pretty much was like, you know what, I'm going to leave before I say something that I can't take back. We see that she goes to the bar, and this is when she meets Damian Cross. And remember, Damian is the one that got that painting. And we see this, he actually met Cookie. So he met Cookie before he even met Lucius. So we already see that Damian Cross is on some shit. They met at a bar or whatever, and she's looking at the band or whatever, and he says that okay, I see what you're looking at. You notice that the drummer is not doing so well, but the saxophonist has potential. Now, if I'm right, buy me a drink. She buys him a drink, and they talk it up. They get on the elevator, and she talks about that she lets him know immediately that I'm married, and he thanks God for me every single day. They get into the elevator. The elevator gets stuck, and Damien, pretty much gets claustrophobic. and he starts panicking. But far as I know, I can't trust this nigga, so he probably was faking. But then while he's in this elevator with her, they start talking, and he shows her this beautiful piece of jewelry that he's gonna give to his daughter, who's a cancer survivor, and he also talks about losing his wife. So he's definitely pulling at Cookie's heartstrings, and then finally the elevator finally let up and they went their separate ways. But we can definitely tell that there is some chemistry there, and where it's gonna go we don't know, but we definitely know that Damien is not a motherfucker that we can trust, because Damien is definitely up to something. And the question is, what is his ultimate purpose as to why he's doing what he's doing, you know? So now we get a scene where Lucius and Cookie are talking about that in order to cover all the expenses for this showcase, we're gonna have to mortgage the house. And then he says that if we don't bet on ourselves, who will? So if anything, Cookie is kind of feeling some kind of way, because we all know that Cookie got that property that Lucius don't know about. Then we get a scene where Giselle and Becky meet up. You know, Becky is pissed the fuck off. She's like, oh, hell no. I put work on a lot of those fucking records, and you want to shelve the shit that I did? Like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm not with this shit. And then Giselle was like, look, you just need to sit tight. He's like, are you agreeing with this shit? She's like, yeah, but you need to sit tight. I got this. And then like Giselle, and then all of a sudden Becky was like, oh, so we getting all quiet now, huh? We, you know, at first you was all about putting his ass on blast, and now you want to get quiet? But she says, no, I'm working on something. You need to trust me. But we can definitely tell that both of them, you know, personally, I don't think they trust each other, but they both want the same thing. And pretty much, Giselle tells Becky that I'm about to make some moves, so just sit tight. So then we actually see that Candace and Cookie have a moment, and I'm sorry, yeah. So we see that Cookie actually, Candace is actually leaving the house, and Cookie catches her. So that's the only way she was able to catch her ass. And they talk about her son Franklin. Franklin's in an institution, and she's in her feelings because she says that he's being pumped full of medicine, and you know, he doesn't even recognize me. And she was saying that, and then this bitch Candace decides to ask her, so what would you have done if Andre would have had when Andre had a breakdown? Would you have called the police on him? And she said that first of all, Andre never did anything like Franklin. I mean, so I'm loving that Lee Daniels is bringing up this question of bringing up this whole concept of mental illness in the black community, because I can admit I for one suffer from mental illness. So I think this is great that they're showcasing this, and that they're giving this a light that, look, black people can no longer sweep mental illness under the rug, because that's exactly what Candace was doing. Because Candace was literally getting her ass beat by her son, but yet was sweeping things under the rug, trying to act like everything is fine. And we know that this damn Candace is an image queen. She's all about how she appears, but not trying to reveal the truth. Because here it is, she was hiding bruises and shit, but both Cookie and Candace was peeping the shit. And Cookie said that, look, I did what I had to do, because if I didn't do that, he would have killed you. But Candace is not seeing it like that. And then she's talking about so you wouldn't call the cops on Andre. But she's like, well, Andre never did anything like this. Andre is more detrimental to himself. So we never had to call the police on Andre because he never attacked anybody in the family. And then she was like, oh yeah, you have my son, who's a really good boy, and but just has issues, and then you got your son, the murdering convict. I'm like, see, Candace, you asking to get your ass beat. Because first of all, you cannot compare them, because yeah, they both suffer from mental illness, but they have different diagnoses. Because I think, oh boy, Franklin, I think he's schizophrenic. And schizophrenic patients are known to lash out, especially towards people that they know. You know, because in that mental state, there's no control there. You know, so him being borderline schizophrenic, you know, he's dangerous. And I definitely know this because I actually had a cousin who suffered from that, and let's just say it, because of the fact that it wasn't managed and checked, he ended up getting killed. You know, so yeah, I know that this mental illness shit is real, and so that was like the end of that. But we definitely see that Cookie really is trying to pour her heart out to her sister, because she loves her sister and she loves her nephew. And she just said that, look, I tried to do what's best for you guys. But then Candace lets her know that, look, I can't forgive you right now. And you just need to understand why I can't. You know, because this is my child. But it's obvious that Candace got some mental issues of her own. So then we actually see after that, Cookie has a meeting with that damn Maya and tells Maya, she gives Maya a folder that, look, I need you to actually run some errands for me. So here, take this. And she's like, then Maya's like, but I don't drive. She's like, well, the bus runs until 2. Get up off your ass and go do what I asked you to do. Sitting up in here eating all my food with her greedy ass. I was like, Cookie! Yes! This is the Cookie I love. No nonsense, no bullshit. And then we see that she talks to Carol, and Carol, her and Carol are going after, or like looking at the blueprint for this showcase, and they're saying that, look, this is gonna be awesome. But then she lets Carol know that Lucius is gonna have to mortgage the house in order for us to do it. And they also talk about that property that Cookie has that Lucius doesn't know about. But then she's saying that, look, if this don't work out, that means you and Lucius gonna be flat broke. But then Cookie's like, yeah, but we'll be flat broke together. So then we get this scene with where finally Hakeem goes to meet up with Blake. You know, Blake got him some goons and everything. Hakeem got his goons. And it's just crazy. You know, so he goes to meet up with him, and he's saying that, you need to, I tried to end this beef, but now, you know, your peeps are now threatening Tiana and the kids and all that. And he was like, now, you know, I wouldn't want to do nothing to hurt your kids, Hakeem. That ain't even my style. So pretty much, he's like, Blake was like, you want a drink? He's like, yeah, I have a drink. And so they pretty much go to have a drink, and then Hakeem was like, yeah, I'm glad that you finally apologizing for this shit, and we can, like, start over. And he was like, and Blake was like, apologizing? I ain't apologizing for nothing, because I ain't do nothing wrong, and besides, this is something you started yourself. You the one that gave me the song. But he's like, yeah, but I didn't give you my girl, though. And Blake was like, she won your girl when I was up in there cooking in your house and taking care of your kids. I'm like, Blake, you are, ooh, Blake just got a whole different type of swag now. And next thing you know, damn guns are being drawn out, you know. And then, like, and Blake pretty much told Hakeem, like, I'm not scared of you, Hakeem. You need to understand that shit. I ain't scared of your ass. And then all of a sudden, all the guns pull out. All of a sudden, Hakeem pulls a gun out on Blake, and then everybody else pulling out their guns. And then Blake was like, put your guns down. Put your guns down. And then all of a sudden, we see Hakeem pointing the gun. Like, first of all, you can tell that Hakeem is childish as fuck, because you don't never pull no heat unless you're going to squeeze it. Shoot, that's something that my uncle told me when I was little. You know, never pull a gun unless you're going to use it. You don't use that shit to intimidate somebody. You use that shit to handle shit. So he up there just pointing a gun, and he know Hakeem bluffing, and Hakeem ain't gonna pop that shit. So Hakeem backs up. It's like, this shit ain't over. This ain't over. This ain't over. But I have to say, in that scene where you just saw Blake just standing there, he looked exactly like his dad. I was like, man, I'm looking at Tom Hanks all over again. I was really like, wow, he looks a lot like his father, because I mean, I knew that that Chet was Tom Hanks' son, but it was in that moment when he was standing there and him and Hakeem was having that standoff, he looked exactly like his dad. So I was all here for that. But yeah, so the damn beef is still going on because Hakeem's ego won't let it go. All right, let's see. So then we get a scene with Giselle. Giselle goes to meet with that private investigator that she hired to look into Kingsley. She gets the full lowdown on Kingsley's mom. His mom's name was Tracy. She was from the suburbs, but she would go to, Philly to party, get high and all of that. And her drug dealer was a young Lucius Lyon, who, with their connection, came this boy. So now she knows that Kingsley is Lucius' son. So then, so then we see after that, that Lucius, Andre, and Thirsty is trying to figure out, we need to get into the inside so we can get this information as to what Kingsley is going to be using now that he's decided to shelve everything involving the Lions. So, and they was wondering, like, can we use Giselle, and could we trust her? But then Thirsty's like, I got an idea. He goes to meet up with Becky, and him and Becky, and let me put it this way, Gabby Sidibe looks great. She really looks good, and they sitting there talking, and pretty much, Thurston's like, look, we really need your help, Becky, and we gotta really make sure that we protect the family. And Becky was like, first of all, I'm gonna be real with you. They always talking about family this, family that, but that family does not include me and you. And pretty much that's just it. They gonna look out for them, but we're expendable though. And he was like, besides the point, we got a situation here. I need you to take this flash drive and put it into Kingsley's computer, and Andre would be able to access his information to find out why he's shelving all of this information. And he was like, and besides, why, if you felt this way about the Lions, why did you come to Lucius and let him know about what Kingsley's doing? And it's because, in all honesty, regardless of how you feel, you still care. So you need to choose a side. And we see that Becky decides to go put the thing in. She gets caught by Kingsley, and she has a conversation. He's like, so what are you doing up in here? She's like, I'm looking for my bonus. I mean, after all, I put in on a lot of those tracks, so therefore I'm going to be losing money. And he was like, look, how about if you help me with this, I'll double your salary. So she pretty much drops things in her purse, and while she goes to pick up her thing, she slips the drive into his computer database, and she walks out. So we now see that Becky has chosen the Lions. So I'm like, Becky, welcome back, welcome home. So we see that Andre finds out information in regards to Kingsley, and he comes to find out that Kingsley has made a deal with the United States government. So he's going to be selling information to the feds. And Lucius gets a wind of this, and he was like, oh, this crazy son of a bitch, he really is trying to die. Like, you gonna shelve my shit to make a deal with the U.S. government and the feds to feed them information, and he gonna be getting paid on top of that. So if anything, Lucius like, we need to break this story. I can't release it because it's gonna look like I'm being jealous or I'm hating. And of course, this is like some information, but we need a credible source to put this out there. And that's when he reaches out to Kai. Jamal doesn't want Kai to do this, but Kai is so head on. I'm doing this. Yeah, I want to do it. Because this is just wrong. And then I'm like, see, something gonna happen to Kai's ass, because Kai, you again putting yourself in a dangerous situation. So then we see Kingsley makes his normal routine where he goes to visit his mother and brings her flowers. He goes in there only to see that Giselle is already sitting there with a folder. And she's like, oh yeah, I know this is your mama, but the question is, where your daddy at? Oh, but I know who that daddy is. Your daddy's Lucius Lyon. So now, what we're gonna do is discuss your present and my future. And then Kingsley kind of looks at his mom, and then Becky was like, oh, but don't worry, baby, she won't hear us. I was rolling. I'm like, Giselle, you cold-hearted bitch. That shit had me dying, because she was just like, oh, don't worry, baby, she won't hear us. I'm like, you were so fucking cold, but I was so here for it, though. That damn Giselle's a mess. So then we see Lucius and Cookie have they sit down and talk, and they're talking about that, yeah, Lucius like, we're gonna mortgage the place, we're gonna mortgage the house, and this daggone showcase is gonna be a big success. And then we actually see that Candace stops by. And of course, Lucius like, hey, Candace, how you doing? How you holding up and everything? And Cookie's like, yeah, I'm glad you're here, Candace. Would you like to stay for dinner? She's like, oh no, I'm not gonna stay. I'm not gonna stay long. And then she's like, so what's going on? And she pretty much tells Cookie, well, since you turned my life upside down, I'm here to return the favor. She gives Lucius this folder about the actual property, and that it's $4 million in equity. And he says, now how is that for your ride or die? And walks the fuck out. I'm like, Candace, you evil bitch. You deserve any and every bad thing that happens to your ass, because that was dirty. And Cookie never intentionally wanted to turn your life upside down. She wanted to heal the problem, was the fact that your son is ill. And if you would have actually taken ownership and taken care of that, he wouldn't been up in there beating your ass. But Candace is just hell bent on, you told my business and you put me out there, so now I'm going to shut your shit down. I'm not going to keep your secret. And then the next thing you know, we see that the two of them starts arguing. They go back and forth. But I'm like, Lucius, on the other hand, don't forget that you did a whole bunch of foul shit to Cookie, and then at times Cookie was flat broke, because you pulled a stunt. So she pretty much did that as a safety net in case shit pops off. She has something for herself. But he was like, I loved you and I trusted you and you told me no secrets and blah blah blah. And then he goes to the painting and slice it up, and she's like, Lucius, no. He's like, this shit's a fake. I actually mortgaged the real one to help us build this company. And here it is, you sitting on money, and we up in here struggling, and you had money the whole fucking time. But while that's going on, upstairs, Tiana and Hakeem are fighting. And pretty much he tells, Tiana's like, I told your ass to end this beef, and yet this shit is still going on. What the fuck is wrong with you, Hakeem? And Hakeem was like, what the hell you doing having that nigga up in my house cooking for my kids and shit? What the fuck was going on with that? She was like, well, hey, you weren't around and I needed somebody and he was there. And then he was like, man, you ain't nothing but a bird, Tiana. I thought you was something, but you ain't shit. And besides, if you run, and he says, and he says, oh yeah, and leave Bella here because she ain't yours. And you know, and then he's like, oh yeah, and leave your damn daughter here. Yeah, and I was like, and leave Bella here because Bella ain't your kid anyway. Oh really, Hakeem? Really? Because she's been caring for that baby ever since that baby was an infant. That baby is like the only like mother figure she knows because one, Anika's dead, but then again, Anika at one point was trying to take Bella away from you. It's like, dude, are you tripping? But then she pretty much told him that Blake was right about your ass. So I think something did go down between Blake and Tiana. And she decides to leave, and he was like, you ain't taking my son from me. She's like, get the hell out of my face, Hakeem. And the next thing you know, we see Cookie and Lucius is fighting downstairs. They come downstairs and they fighting, and then like, you know, Cookie's like, what the hell is going on with y'all two? And he's like, Mom, this is my he's like, Mom, I'm handling this. You need to mind your business. And then Lucius like, don't talk to my wife like that. I'm like, so Lucius still loves Cookie, even though they having this spat. And then the next thing you know, we see that Bella done found Hakeem's gun. And I'm like, Hakeem, you stupid motherfucker. How the hell did damn Bella get the damn gun, bruh? What the hell? And then we see that she about to turn the gun onto herself, and that's where it ended. I'm like, baby, I sure hope that they get that gun from her and she doesn't actually shoot it. I really do. But I'm like, that damn Hakeem is so fucking... Like, bruh, you up in here toting this gun around and shit, and now your baby got to it. Irresponsible and childishness. But that's what I have, y'all. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. I'd love to talk to you about it. But subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you get notifications every time I drop a video. Also, follow me on all of my social platforms. I have them all listed in the description box. Also, like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And I'll be back with the next episode of Empire. So until next time, everybody, take care.